Good evening, guys, and welcome to Blacklist 41. Scott is feeling a bit better, but he has got tickets to go to the football, so he is not joining us this evening. James is feeling under the weather now, so James is likely not going to show up this evening, and Daff is elsewhere on assignment, doing something more fun, I think, that involves a lot of alcohol and being in Cardiff again. So it's just myself and Lee this evening. Lee, how you doing, man?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, and that's enough of the sympathy for Scott. He's gone to the football. He's better now. So we don't want none of that.
Yeah, knock off the pity party for Scott. He doesn't need it. And then when he watches this back, he'll get upset that we've said that.
I know, that's why I said it. That's exactly why I said it.
Hi, Scott. Good evening, Dave. Hi, Gavin. Hi, Pilgrim G. Hi, Neil. Hi, Gina. Gina, thank you very much for the beer that I'm currently sipping on. The rest of the band were really impressed that I took all that with me.
Is that your takeout?
Well, Gina told me to take it with me as she was leaving, because she said she bought all that for the bands, so we may as well take it with us. So I did. I have every intention of splitting it equally between you guys, but as every day that passes, more of these are being drunk. So
I said to the guys in Vambo who were taking, they were staying in a hotel. I was saying, I'm going to take a couple of them for you rather than use the fridge. So they needed a couple, but
100%. And weren't they cool guys? Vambo and Blue Nation, both like bands that are really nice as people as well, are awesome. Like, it just makes an evening that, like, especially like an evening like that, which, like, you know, full disclosure, before the doors opened, there was a little bit of stress and worry about the amount of time that we had to load in and try and get everyone checked sound wise, etc. And it was just so nice to be able to, you know, talk to them and not feel like there was any animosity because of who got to sound check when and for how long. And, you know, it's really nice when you just meet other bands and they're just decent people.
Yeah, I agree. They were a pleasure to talk to, and they're really nice. I'm glad I met them.
Yes, me too. And I look forward to sharing the stage with them again. Vambo are booked for, and Gina will correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Vambo are booked for Nozfest now as well, which means that we will potentially see them again in this year. Gina, like I said, correct me if that's the wrong festival that I picked there, but I think it was Nozfest.
I think you're right. I think that's what was said.
Yeah.
We're at the same one, aren't we? Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Forget.
There you go. She's put, you're correct. It is Nozfest, and they're on just before you, I believe. There you go. So we'll be there to help them lug their gear off the stage, and we can catch up then. She said it's fine. They had a bar of their own at the hotel, which Gina had sorted out for them. So that sounds like a decent night for them.
Wonderful.
And did they go public with their announcement, Gina, before I say anything?
It was on Facebook.
It was on Facebook. Okay, cool. I didn't want to say it if it hadn't been shared, but I just wanted to say congrats to the guys in Vambo for signing a record contract. That's very exciting for them, and we wish them the absolute best with that. So, I think before we dive into firsts, which was the bizarrely chosen topic for this week, we can talk about the gig on Friday and how that went. How do you think it went, Lee?
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah?
It was warm.
Oh my god, yeah. I can't remember the last gig where I sweat that much. Considering the last gig we did before that was the one at Planet Rockstock, where it was probably about 5 degrees.
That was cold.
That was a very cold gig. This was a very warm gig, yeah.
Yeah, it's an amount of heat in the room, I think. But yeah, when you think back, well, all the lighting's now LEDs. It used to be all halogen. I think we probably would have melted back. That was bloody hot.
Yeah, I was rather.
No, it was good. It was nice to play a new song. I always enjoyed all our songs, but it was nice to do that. But it was really nice just catching up with everyone as well.
It was
meeting
brilliant.
everyone on the Blacklist as usual. So yeah, it's all just nice chatting to good people.
Yeah, I've been in bands before, and I've never I played shows before, but I've never. And it's funny because when we initially started talking about having like not like a fan group or like that kind of thing, but like cultivating a community around the band rather than just being a band and hoping that we would get
Yeah.
fans. Like I was a bit reluctant because I was like, you see. Like the first thing that came to my head was like all these massive pop stars, and they all have like names for their followers, and I was like, I don't want to be like trying to cultivate something like that.
Like Lady Gaga.
Yeah, yeah. She calls her followers little monsters, I think.
Yeah.
But what we've somehow stumbled across by doing these almost incoherent live streams every other week is that we do have a community called the Blacklist now, and that you can pick them out at the gigs, and you can some of them by like just looking at them they're in the Blacklist, and some of them because you know them already because of the Blacklist, which is amazing. And it is great to go to gigs and feel like you're seeing a whole bunch of like friends rather than just people that have just come to see the band. Like they're actually people that you can stop and have a drink with and a chat to. It's really cool.
It's really cool, and I've certainly never experienced that before. I mean, you do get the same people coming to gigs, but I think it's like you say, they're not the same sort of level of community. It is like rocking up and seeing mates you haven't seen for a while, which is good, isn't it? That can't be bad.
No, it's really, really cool. Let's just check the chat for a second. Pilgrim G says, "I don't think any bands that I follow have an ego. They're all humble and down to earth." Gina agrees that it was too warm in that place. She wasn't even playing and it was too hot. Well, you did get up on stage a couple of times, Gina, so you felt that. You got up higher than everyone else and felt that rising heat.
It was all the stress, I think. That's what it was.
There was a lot of that too, yeah. Dave said regarding the Kerrang the Deal competition, congratulations to you. Your win is in our eyes. Being in the last 10 out of hundreds of bands is amazing. Yep, we totally agree with you on that one.
It's a privilege.
It was an absolute honour to be in the shortlist for the first round of voting, and we genuinely didn't think that we were going to get through to the final 10. So to have had that experience is just like incredibly encouraging. Obviously, it stung a little bit when I got the news that we didn't win. You get to that point in your brain like where you start telling yourself, we've got a real shot here, and like you start to convince yourself that you're just waiting for the congratulations you won email. So when I got the email saying I'm really sorry, it's not you guys, it hurt a little bit. But any of that pain was completely erased by Friday, has to be said. Because I had a little wobble after that, because I've always told myself, like, well, I believe in what we're doing, and I believe that we just have to get, the right, and when I say the right people, I mean the industry, decision makers and move makers. I just had it in my head that if we could get in front of them, we would be noticed, and that would be what we need to make the next step happen. So having that knockback from the Kerrang Deal competition, I kind of felt like, right, well, we just got put in front of them and they said no. So then I was like, well, fuck, like, what did we do wrong? Like, what is it about us that they didn't like? And I spent a few days like really going in on myself and feeling like crap about it, because I was like, well, was that our shot, and do those people now think no to Black Lakes? But actually playing the show on Friday, and especially with playing a new song as well, which was really fun, just seeing like the amount of, obviously Fuel is not the biggest venue. The last gig we played before that was Planet Rockstock, so there was certainly 4 or 5 times the amount of people at Planet Rockstock, but a lot of those people hadn't seen us before, and a lot of people in Fuel had seen us, and there was people singing every word, there's people banging their heads like crazy, like to every song, like shouting out in between the songs for stuff, like trying to, like interacting with us from the audience. And I just thought, actually, you know what, like we'll do it with these people, like with us. Like this is how we get to where we need to go. This is how we get like to wherever we want to be as a band. Just with the power of the Blacklist and the people that come to see us and support us, because honestly, they lifted me like crazy, and I'm so grateful, so grateful for it.
Yeah, it's certainly a cathartic experience, wasn't it? But yeah, I suppose just to let people know, seeing that sort of energy in the crowd, it certainly feeds me. I mean, I try to give an energetic performance anyway. I get into it, but that doubles it. You know what I mean? You look out at the people, seeing their eyes, and you think, yeah, it just gives you a power boost, doesn't it?
It really does. Like when you see like something that we've created resonate with someone, it's pretty powerful stuff.
Amazing. Yeah,
Gavin says he's still got a sore neck. Mine's just about got back to being okay, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was giving it everything I had up there. My neck was really letting me know about it the the next couple of days.
That's our age, that is, Gavin, mate.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just how it is now.
Takes longer to get over it, I'm afraid.
Oh, Gina said she was very stressed on the evening, but she shouldn't have worried, as despite the problems, the music took over. I was really. I'll tell you what was really cool actually, and like an experience that was exclusive to me on that evening, is that because we were the headline band, we set up all our gear on the stage, sound checked everything, and then got out of the way so that Vambo and Blue Nation could like do quick checks. Yeah. Now, although we switch over all the microphones so that we don't have to share mics, because even before COVID, that was not something you really wanted to be doing, but now it is definitely not something you want to be doing. No. Because we switched the microphones over, but all the lines remain the same. And my in-ear monitors for our set run through that line. So I was stood in the audience, and I could turn my monitors on and get like a boosted version of all the vocals and hear them really clearly. So every time the singers were talking to the crowd and stuff, and there's a lot of gigs I go to where all I'm hearing is like, and I'm like, I don't know what he's saying. So it was really cool. It was like having like HD singers in my ears, because I could just turn it up and hear exactly what they were saying. And I did it when Gina was doing the auction and the raffle as well, because it just made it so much easier to hear what was going on. And I thought, you know what, I reckon I'm onto a winner here. If I could sell something like that you plug into the, like between the band and the desk, or between the desk and the speakers, and you can hand these out at gigs to everyone to have like HD sound. I mean, not with bands like ours, because they'll hear all the horrible truths that go on underneath the noise. But I think there's something to it. It was really cool.
Yeah, they do that. So they used to do it. The rugby, we used to be able to buy headphones and listen to the ref talking through the microphone.
Oh yeah. I can't say that. I have been to the rugby once in my life. That was a first. That was the first and only time I've been to the rugby. Hi Alison. Who else has joined us? Hi Evelyn. Hi Black Sunshine. Good to see you all. Hi Susie. What about live sport? It's talking about rugby and Scott being at the football. What was the first live sport you saw, Lee?
Live sport. It was 1988. I can't tell you the month, but it was 1988. I saw Spurs vs Coventry in Tottenham. It was 2-2. That's very specific, isn't it?
That is very. I'm very impressed that you got like the actual game. Like, I think the first sporting event I went to was England rugby match, but I couldn't tell you who they were playing. I couldn't tell you when it was. It was just during my dad's desperation phase of like, if I try hard enough, he might cut his hair and enjoy sport. But it's never quite worked out that way, unfortunately. I do really like the ice hockey when I can get to go see it, but it's been a few years since I've done that. But
I remember you saying about that. Yeah.
Yeah, Gina just said, don't forget to hit that like button. Come on, there's only one like on this video, so I want to see that like count jump by the 10 concurrent viewers that are watching. So we should get 10 likes from this appeal. So hit that like button on the video so that we improve our chances of getting seen by the YouTube algorithms. We lost one viewer for me pleading for your likes. It's an interesting. Oh, there we go. It's jumping up now. It's jumping up. So, thinking of firsts then, and I've got a few ideas in my head for firsts, but it's getting to that point now, 41 broadcasts in, where I don't know what we've inadvertently shared in other broadcasts. So
have you got a feeling that you've done this before?
I've got a feeling that we've gone over first albums ever bought before.
I can't remember.
Well, that's a good sign. So, what was the first album you ever bought, and instantly know that you're going to upstage me with something cooler than mine?
Well, it depends, doesn't it? It depends whether you want to go with my own money sort of thing.
Your own money, or that you specifically requested your parents get for
Pocket
you?
money.
Yeah. And Blacklist, I want to know what your first albums were as well. Leave them in the comments.
I suppose I can remember. I think it was Michael Jackson. I think actually. Yeah, I think Bad was my first album I requested off my parents. I think when I bought my own money when I had a paper round, that was Sacred Rice, The American Way. That was the first one I bought. It was on vinyl.
Nice.
I was about 7, I think, for Michael Jackson Bad, or 8 maybe.
Terry's just joined us. Hi Terry. Hi Shelley. Shelley's first album was Him and Love Said No. That is a good greatest hits album, has to be said.
I've never really listened to them. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. No one's perfect. Pilgrim G's first album was Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche.
Cool. Yeah.
Adam and the Ants, Prince Charming was Gavin's. George Harrison's Cloud 9 was Black Sunshine's. Nice. I told you everyone was going to have better than me. Neil 66 was Blondie, Parallel Lines.
That's 2 Adam and the Ants ones.
Yeah, Allison's was Adam and the Ants. Kings
I think you were talking about that. You guys talk about Adam and the Ants Friday, or do I make that up in my head? I do that now and again. Not us, them. I'm sure you had a COVID conversation. But
I think there was some talk about Adam and the Ants. I can't remember. I don't know. Oh, Paranoid Balls Out for Alice Cooper. Mel and Kim. Right, okay, thanks, Susie. You're bringing the bar down for me now. That's better.
You're freezing up.
Uh-oh. You're back?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Don't leave me on my own. Mel and Kim is Susie's, or possibly the Bangles or Bananarama. I feel like I'm in better company now with my terrible first CD.
See, that's the thing, isn't it? It's everyone will go for their first metal one.
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh yeah, mine was definitely this. Yeah, was it though? Was it though? Yeah, unfortunately, my first album was the. Yeah, Alison said she thinks it was on the Blacklist the other week. That we were talking about Adamant. I don't know. Gavin's definitely said that we've already talked about first albums, but I think Alison was saying that we were talking about Adamant on the Blacklist. I don't know. Oh yeah, because I said about going to a gig of Adamant's. Maybe. I invent stuff in my head as well. My first album was the debut album by the Spice Girls.
Room's gone quiet, Will.
Well, yeah. Now, bearing in mind that I was young and the Spice Girls were all like slightly older and very attractive, I was kind of like on the hook for that one. Simon Cowell knew exactly how to market that thing.
Yeah, it was marketed as little girls. That's what it was.
Yeah, well, that's why it obviously got my attention. Pilgrim G's just wrote, "Your goth card's hanging by a thread." Look, I had a good taste in music. Weirdly, like when I was little, like I had like my dad was into loads of like really good music. We used to listen to a lot of like Crowded House, Talking Heads, Status Quo, all that kind of stuff, like all the time. But I think it was kind of like that, listening to local radio stations and hearing those songs on repeat all the time, like the Spice Girls songs and stuff, and like that like desire to be a bit different to what your parents listened to. It wasn't very long. It must have been within the same year that I bought my first album that I would, if I was writing a biography, tell everyone was my first album, and that was an Offspring album, because my cousin was like, no, not this, and I was like, oh yeah, this is actually amazing. But there was a time where I would, what is it, shimmy to the left if you're having a good time, shake it to the right if you know that you feel fine.
You say so?
Come on, don't pretend you don't know.
I know.
Yeah! So, what else we got going on in the chat? First single for Dave Earl was either Sham 69 or The Skids. Terry Taylor's first album was The Partridge Family. A David Cassidy fan, apparently. Alison just put tumbleweed with 3 laughing emojis after me telling everyone about the Spice Girls. Yes, look, I'm not proud of it, but equally I'm not too ashamed of it, otherwise I would remove it from my narrative. I feel like everyone's got to start somewhere. Everything that I've listened to date has taken me to where I am, and
it is what it is.
The reason that we have some of our catchier choruses is because I've got to try every time to wangle in a little hooky pop chorus because I love it so much. So that's why we are where we are. Susie says, me and my sister used to deliberately try and pick albums that annoyed my dad on road trips when we got a bit older. I think Nirvana Bleach got the best reaction. Nice.
Okay. You can imagine, couldn't you? Yeah.
What did he just say? Nothing. I had what I call a pastel phase in the late 90s, says Black Sunshine. I listened to some of the bubblegum crap that was out around then. Yeah, okay. My first album bought by my mum was Disney songs. I was about 4. Aww. Evelyn says that Status Quo are her most seen band ever. Now, I've definitely brought up my college tutor before that had Francis Rossi's tattoo signature on her boob. I've definitely mentioned that on this before. She loved that band.
Did you say that was your teacher?
Yeah. Like, she was like obsessed with Status Quo, and then like one day she came in after seeing them the day before and she was like, look, just like showed
you then? You're like,
17, 18. It was college, 16, 17. I say it was college as if that's okay for a teacher to indecently expose herself to a room full of children. But I obviously it was innocent. Like, we were looking at her. I say innocent. It was a Francis Rossi signature tattooed to her breast. There's no innocence in that. But her intention in showing us was innocent. Pilgrim G has retracted a message. I wonder if he admitted to a terrible first album. Shelley says my autobiography is going to be juicy. Oh, I hope you don't think so. I live a very boring life. Don't worry about that.
Sham 69 at the Patriots. I did not know that, actually. I quite like that. No?
Why do I know the name Sham 69? What's like their biggest song?
Well, they're a punk band from the sort of late 70s.
Okay.
I think it's the Kids Be United, is it?
Claire Taylor says, I love Lee so much.
That's my sister. She's an idiot.
Yeah, I know. Hey, we all love Lee so much. That goes without saying. There you go. Lee is my favourite. She's on the Lee campaign. First pet, Lee.
A dog. I had a dog called Ben.
Ben.
Labrador. A Labrador. I think he was a Labrador. Yeah.
The sound was a bit muffled then, and I thought you said, I had a first dog called Ben. Flammable. Very flammable. I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus. I'm really sorry to hear that. Poor old Ben.
Yeah. So what was yours?
A guinea pig. A guinea pig called Rubbish.
That's an intriguing name.
Well, I was very small and my parents asked me what I wanted to call it. And I was just being brutally honest. So we had two guinea pigs. One that had like a lovely flowery cutesy name because of my sister. And Rubbish, which was my guinea pig. And I loved him, but he was called Rubbish. That was just his name.
Did you call him Rubbish because you wanted something else?
I don't know. I mean, I can't remember my motives for why I said what I said. It's a little time has passed, but yeah. If you ever want to like break into any of my online accounts, if they ask you what was your first pet called, you've now got one of the two questions that I always set on any of my things. Pilgrim G just keeps retracting everything this evening. I'm worried about you, Pilgrim G. What's going on? A rescue dog called Petra. Oh, I love the name Petra. I really like that name. Gavin's was the first pet was a lab. Pilgrim G's first pet was a slow worm. Does that even count as a pet?
Well, yeah.
A slow worm's pets? Like, do you...
People keep snakes and things, don't they?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I suppose. Alison Thomas's first pet was a black and white cat called Paddy Paws. Aww, he lived for about 20 years. Your sister says you had a goldfish called Dave.
I did have a goldfish called Dave. I'd forgotten about that.
Did he come before or after Ben?
I think after.
Okay. I had some gerbils, and then one day I came home from school, and they're like I had all the like rotor stack stuff so they could get all around the place. And one day I came home from school and it was just smashed on the floor, and they were gone. And I was like, fuck! Like I remember vividly thinking, right, I gotta find them, and like going under my bed and like feeling around and being like, oh, it's wet there. And then going to get a torch and coming back, and it was just one of their heads and a lot of blood. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't own gerbils anymore because my cats decided that it was time for that phase of my life to be over. Cats are amazing, but they are also bastards.
They are bastards.
I think that's part of why I find them amazing. I was saying just the other day that I think that, you know, ancient civilizations, ancient Egypt, worshipped cats, and then cats have had a sort of dormant phase, but with the arrival of the internet and later the viral video and meme, cats are going all the way back up again. Like nearly every advert that you see on TV now is like, cats are funny, right? People love cats, right? Like cats are slowly inching their way back to being in control of this planet, I reckon.
Interesting point.
I have 4 of them, and like, you know, they are basically tiny furry overlords. I thought one of them was going to die the other day. He was like proper ill looking for like 3 days, and I was like, I basically like said goodbye to him every day because I was like, well, today's the day. I mean, 2 of them are getting old now, like they're like 13 or what have you. And I know the cats can live a lot longer than that, but 13's good innings anyway for a cat. So I was like, well, maybe it's his time. And now he's as sprightly as ever again.
Well, Alison said she's got a cat that lived for 20 years. So you might have a few years yet, mate.
Oh, I had a cat that lived for about 20 years, yeah. Like, it was weird because, like, the cat lived for, like, the entire of my younger brother's life. Like, my young brother had never known a time where this cat wasn't alive for like 20 years of his life. It was really weird. Like he mourned that cat like, you know, like a member of the family, because
I suppose you would, wouldn't you?
The cat had always been there, like from the start of his life. It's really, really crazy. Alison says Grumpy Cat. Grumpy Cat's awesome. Today is Respect Your Cat Day. Is that like an American thing, Black Sunshine? She says, I got a shush about talking about old cats. She's got 2 at 13 and they're not allowed to go anywhere yet. Oh, sorry. Debs has just joined us. She got distracted watching Cocaine Bear. Now, is that film actually any good? Because I can't decide whether it looks like it would be amazing or is absolute terrible rubbish, as my guinea pig was
called. Sounds like a good one for a few beers and then a film night, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. I noticed they put Zombieland 2 on Netflix. I'm going to watch that like after a few beers one night. I did quite like the first one. Have you seen Zombieland?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah. Black Sunshine says it's probably an American thing. We make holidays out of anything. Yeah. To be fair, I haven't heard of Respect Your Cat Day. It seems ironic, in a way, that a nation that by default declaws their cats has a day that that encourages people to respect their cats. I'd never noticed. I'd never seen it before until I went to America. But they, as a standard, they pull all their claws out. Just
what for?
Stops them wrecking the furniture and when they make puddings on you, it's not as painful. I guess. I mean, Black Sunshine will know more. She knows a lot more about it. So I'm guessing yours have got claws. She's put, do not get me started on declawing. So I'm guessing your two 13-year-olds have got their claws, which I definitely approve of, I have to say.
What else are we first in?
What else is there? What did I say on the... Oh, first... Right, I know. First experience with any kind of drug.
I think it'd probably be what? It'd probably be booze, wouldn't it? It'd be booze or fags. Or you on about stuff you can't normally buy in a shop?
I'm on about the harder stuff, mate. Not that I want to promote the use of... Yeah, like, I'm not saying that, like, it's clever to do drugs or any of that stuff. I'm just talking about how peer pressure gets you involved in some stupid stuff.
Weed, I suppose. Weed. Although being a youth in the 90s, there's a lot of acid about as well. A lot of acid tabs in school.
Do you remember... what was it called? You did acid at school?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Lee.
It's really like...
Pilgrim G says... Pilgrim G says Cowpole. Cowpole age 6. I can't...
You will have loads. Yeah.
I can't say I've ever done acid.
It was the 90s. It's, you know, the beginnings of rave culture and shit. There's loads flying about. You know, it's only a couple of quid.
couple of tasks for maths, and then
computer studies or selective computer studies or art, like, you know what I mean?
Jeez,
it made the lesson more humorous.
Shelley says, "Cough, cough. My dad's on the blacklist." Yeah. Well, we're not saying that you've ever done anything of that sort, anyway, Shelley. We're simply saying us. Do you remember? Resin?
Liquid gold, huh?
Do you remember resin?
Resin. That's just weed, isn't it? That's just,
yeah, but it's like it was like weed, like mashed down into a block, and it was like probably cut with like disgusting, like, or like it didn't even smell like weed when it burnt. Like
it's just the oils, that is, isn't it? See, that's how little we do or we know about fucking drugs, really, isn't it? Because we don't even know what we're talking about. But
the thing is, it's sad not to know what, like, because I smoked a lot of resin and I have no idea what I was smoking. Like back in the day. I don't do any of that anymore.
Nah.
I can't smoke weed anymore. Like, it just makes me ill straight away. One toke and I just feel like absolute crap. I can't do it. I was
never any good at it.
I wish I could. I genuinely wish I could. Like, I kind of feel like every now and again I'm like, it'd be so nice to be like, because my neighbour, like, he he smokes quite a lot of weed, and like I can smell it drifting over the fence, and it takes me back to a time where I would smoke a lot of weed, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll just get one, like I'll just get him to roll me one spliff and pass it over, and he will, and then I'm like, every time I'm like, this is fucking awful. I don't know why I tried again.
I never got it, even like on trips to Amsterdam. You know, I'd have a dabble, but it never floated my boat. I'd rather have a beer. Like,
yeah, same. I'm alcohol's my drug of choice. It has to be said. My first time with drugs was weed, and it was at college. I remember like I think it was like day 2 of college, and these two guys that I didn't really know were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go smoke a joint," and I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." And they were like, "Do you smoke?" And I was like, "All the time." So we all went off to the where all the stoners hung out and smoked like a joint. And then I got on my bus, and I remember thinking, I'm fucking caned, and I just got home and just stared. I didn't move. I just stared at the TV for like 3 straight hours. My mum must have known what was going on.
it's not a good feeling. That I mean, like my mum's a nurse, and I remember looking in the mirror one time, and my eyes were just. I was thinking, well, my mum noticed my eyes are like this, and they were like fucking black. My pupils are like fucking that.
Saucers.
Like, yeah, she's gonna know.
Yeah. Get some shades on, get a hoodie over the top, and just tell her you've got a headache. That's the only way to go.
That's
Dave,
not very.
sorry.
I was going to say, Susie's making inhaled poppers at the top of a staircase. Just...
Oh, jeez, that's dangerous.
Did you fall down the stairs?
Goodness me.
Whoa, wobbling at the top of the stairs.
This is a fun game. Inhale this up here. I remember we went to Reading Festival one year. One of my friends at the time bought some legal highs, and he took one and was like, "Oh, this is bollocks, doesn't do anything." So he took the entire lot in one go, and he slept for 3 days. He missed like every single band except for the last headliner because he was just out cold. Every now and again, it was their job to go back and make sure he was still breathing.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think they did probably one of the worst things ever. They're probably good that they're banned, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Deb says only alcohol for me, which is, sensible. Definitely sensible. Smoking weed made me paranoid, so I stopped, said Dave. Your sister says that your mum definitely knew.
Yeah, probably.
I quite like that she said, I'd rather have a wine, and then a second comment saying, a pint of wine.
A mega pint of wine.
A mega pint. Oh, Mandy's just joined us to say, I joined at a fun time, it seems. Yeah, we're talking about naughty substances and first times. Although I think we should put that one to bed and move on to another first.
Yeah.
So what's the next first, Lee? You come up with the first, I've come up with the last couple.
Have we done first gigs?
I think it's come up on like previous Blacklist broadcasts. Yeah, it has, because I remember talking about it. Mine was Offspring, supported by an AFI. Unless, and this is really exposing myself worse than Spice Girls, does seeing Pop Idol live count as a gig?
This gets better. This gets better.
Because I'm going to say...
it does count.
Does it count? Does it count?
Yeah.
Okay, well in that case, I went and saw Pop Idol live. I went and saw Will Young, Rosie Ribbons.
I don't know what that is.
Gareth Gates. Well, you won't remember Rosie Ribbons because she didn't win.
I don't remember Rosie Ribbons. Can you sing it for me, please?
No, I can't because I don't know. I just remember that at the time I was attracted to her. But Gareth Gates and Will Young were in that series. Gina's asking, what have I done to be spilling all these truths? Look, like I said earlier, they made me who I am today.
He's drunk all your free beer, Gina. That's what it is. And now he's spilling.
Yeah, that's it. The beer and Moretti has loosened these lips. Nah, I don't mind. If you're an audience member, then yes, it counts. Okay. Can't get out of that one, Will. Thanks, Gavin. Appreciate your backup there. I don't mind. It was live music, and it's. He said,
I'll
Claire
tell you what
says,
was
"I'll be
sad.
sorry in the morning."
It was sad this week. That it's actually, I think, it was in the Argus spot, our local paper. The Newport Centres, they're finally closing down properly,
All right.
and I saw a lot of gigs there.
Hmm.
I don't know if I put it a Welsh contingent, probably a lot of our English contingent saw gigs in Newport Centre. So it's a shame because it's a good venue in Newport.
Yeah, I saw a headline earlier that said one venue, like one grassroots venue a week, is closing at the moment in the UK. That's shocking, absolutely shocking. There needs to be something done there. Like someone needs to step in and help, because without those places, the bands can't come through.
Oh, well, Newport Centre was a good sort of mid range, I
Oh,
suppose.
it's a bigger one, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's nowhere. Well, there's nowhere in Newport now. I don't think really to house that. Now you'd be going to Cardiff. You'll be going to
Oh, Gavin says it's going to be
North
demolished
Point.
later this year.
Yeah. There's it's a shame.
What's
There's a
going
lot
What's
of
going in
built.
its place? More.
I'm not sure. Probably more car parks or something. But it was yeah. I think like Metallica played there and all sorts.
Yeah, Judas Priest on their Epitaph tour. Says Shelley Hayes. Debs has seen Maiden loads at the Newport Centre. Claire saw Marilyn Manson there in 1987. Never mind, we all make mistakes. Um,
I was there.
you were there. Did you go together? Did you?
Yeah,
Oh, to be honest, 1997 Marilyn Manson was a good time.
that was beautiful people and all that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so probably at the height of his abuse or whatever he was doing.
I like this. I like that Susie's put Satyricon, Powerman 5000, and Painters at the Newport. That was good, and then she's put Pantera, not Painters. I prefer
I
the.
knew you knew Pantera. I've seen Pantera there a few times.
Hi Kaz, thank you for joining us. Don't worry, you haven't missed anything. We're talking about firsts. All that we've done so far is reveal that I have a terrible taste in music when I was younger, and if you want to log into my internet banking and don't want to use my password, you know one of the two answers to get in. I'm gonna have to seriously think about changing that.
Yeah. You're gonna have to edit these things and bleep things out.
That'll make it look way worse if we bleep it after the fact. Yeah, my first pet was a guinea pig. It was called Bleep. Yeah, I was 5. I just called it Bleep because I wasn't impressed.
First single to be released off a new album. Can't really say that. Well, we don't know it. That's why.
I mean, it's probably the one we played on Friday.
Yeah.
I mean,
That'll certainly be at the shortlist, won't it?
well, yeah. There's a few in the shortlist, but that one's up there. But we're kind of we had a very good, very long conversation on. When do we have our little band meeting? Was that Sunday?
Sunday, because I had to dip out.
Yeah, so we had a good long talk on Sunday as a band about direction and what comes next. Obviously, the whole Kerrang thing. It didn't derail us for 2 months, but it was a good distraction and something to throw a lot of effort into, and it kind of stopped us from thinking about other things for a little bit. And what we've sort of come to agree on as a band is that the classic business model for bands, where you release an album every few years and you release an album, you do a tour, you duck down. You release an album, you do a tour, you duck down. Right, so that's obviously not quite the same anymore. Bands don't, thanks to the internet and everything else that comes. But we as a band are determined to stick to our guns when it comes to the music we put out. We'll never put it out until it's ready. We will never put it out. Like, we'll never put out an album where we go, right, well, we've got 8 tracks that are awesome. Let's just find 3 more, 4 more, and stick them on. It's just not how we operate. And that's not to throw shade at other bands that, you know, that operate in a more commercial way. It's just that that's not how we ever really see ourselves operating. Every song that we, you know, if you listen to the debut album, every song on there got countless hours of attention poured into it, and we'll be doing that again with album 2. Now, obviously, we've got gigs booked throughout this year. We'll be going to a whole load of new places that we've never been before. Next up is Cannock, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
In a couple of weeks on Friday.
And we have to accept that whilst we as a band have been living with these songs for a long time, for most people that we tour with, like play to when we're out there, they'll never have heard of us at all. So we are not putting the album on hold. We are still working on the album, but we're not going to break ourselves in terms of schedules and money and trying to push it out before it's ready, on the grounds that we don't want to, like, we feel an obligation to the Blacklist that we keep giving you new content, and it's a dangerous thing to do because you run the risk of ending up diluting what made us special in the first place to get out quicker. So I think, you know, I'm going off on a massive tangent, but what I think I'm trying to say is that this year we will be continuing to write and work on album 2. However, the priority will be on figuring out how we best perform live, how we come over live, and how we hopefully attract new fans wherever we go in terms of the songs that are strongest from album 1 and things. So if you're coming out to see us on the road in the next year, unless it's a longer set than your generic festival set, you probably won't hear White Cliffs again. That was a very special treat for Cardiff, for Gina, and for everyone who came to see us at Fuel.
Yeah, because like you say, we did talk about, like I said, not using the sort of usual release format either, did we? Sort of being a more staggered, shorter releases. I'm sure we can talk about this, can't we? I'm sure the other guys won't mind.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think we talked about a way of keeping it exciting. I think Debs, don't do the unhappy face, because what you're going to find is that the approach that we've decided on actually means more Black Lakes music, not less. There will be Blacklist exclusive stuff that we have been demoing and building and looking forward to recording properly. And okay, she's not upset because of the plan. She's upset she missed the gig. Okay, well, good. I'm glad that I haven't upset you this evening.
The strategy we're thinking, I think, by releasing bits and pieces and then an album, but there'll be lots of limited edition stuff coming out as well, like you said, isn't it? There's going to be, if anything, the way we're going to be releasing our stuff this time, you're going to have more content. There'll be more content, won't there, than just releasing singles from an album. There'll be additional things that aren't on the album.
Absolutely, yeah. And so we're excited about the future. We've kind of drawn out a roadmap, and we have to see where the future takes us. In terms of, we were desperate at one point that our next album had to come out this year, because we were just like, well, people are just going to forget about us and move on, because that's the rate that music's consumed at. But actually, if it's to the detriment of the music we create, then it's actually not worth doing like that. So you will hear new music from us. We will continue to cheekily drop something new into sets as we go along, because we can't help ourselves. And you know, we've played the other songs so many times, more times than we've ever played live, obviously, because we practice every week, and you know, so you may come along to a gig and hear something you weren't expecting that you've never heard before, but the album in its entirety, maybe slightly further down the line, but we are still working on it.
Yeah, it'd be further down the line, but there'll be content all the way along, which is good.
Claire asked who wrote the White Cliff song. I can't remember off the top of my head about instrumentally. Probably Daff with Scott's input.
I think it was.
Lyrically, it was kind of a, you know, like we always do. I said I want to write a song about the amount of people who have died trying to cross the channel and how that makes me feel. And White Cliffs was a lightning bolt moment in terms of some days we sit there and we argue over every single lyric, and not argue but debate every single lyric, and it takes a long time to get through anything. White Cliffs was written in about 40 minutes lyrically, because everything that we needed to say was right there. And yeah, Claire says it's powerful. I do want to say about White Cliffs, yeah, it is a song that has a lot of emotion behind it, and a lot of anger, but that does not excuse me from dropping the C-bomb on stage before we played it.
You did, shocking me.
I did drop the C-bomb whilst talking about Suella Braverman and Rishi Sunak, and whilst I stand by my beliefs that they are, I shouldn't have said it out loud, because that's a bad word. So I apologise to anyone in the Blacklist who was there who was offended. I don't apologise if you were offended because you like the Tories. Just because of the word. Let's be clear. But it was probably a step too far to drop that nasty word. So I apologise for that. I was just I was 5 parts. I was 5 parts angry, 3 parts nervous, and 2 parts stressed about getting the song wrong, because it would be the first time. Oh, right, there they go. Pilgrim G said they are conservatives, and Dave said, you said conservative. Yes, that's right. That's the C. That's the horrible C word I'm talking about. I should never have said it out loud, and I apologise.
Dave said Slipknot are saying that they'll still do albums but release singles not on any album and standalone. So there you are. Slipknot copied us.
There you go. If it's good enough for us, it's good enough for Slipknot, right?
Clearly.
Alison says she didn't notice. No, you didn't. You did notice the fact that...
More about your language then, Alison. That's what that
is. She did notice when I shouted, no, Alison, it's not Wankers Club, which was her guess. Deb said, I first heard of you in August, so the album is still fresh. So that sounds like a good choice in terms of the forward plan, which is really nice to hear. Thank you. The last thing we want to do is feel like we let anyone down. It's weird. We never, obviously we put a lot of effort into album 1, but we never expected it to get the amount of love and traction that it has got. And that puts not like a unattainable pressure on us for album 2, but it obviously plays in the back of your mind. You don't want to make something where people go, yeah, it's alright, but the first album was better. So we're just slowing down a little bit in terms of our route to release.
Yeah, I suppose it's not so much slowing down though, is it? It's slowing down to the end sort of that phase. But we'll be working through that a bit more quicker, won't we, really? So hopefully releasing bits and pieces. It's just another phase, isn't it?
Yes.
It'll take a bit longer to get to that end product.
Yes. I think, yeah, in a roundabout way, you'll get new stuff sooner for longer, I guess.
Yeah, that's the way I was thinking. Yeah.
That's probably the easiest way to explain the convoluted map that we've drawn for ourselves, which takes us all over the place. It's all in the free. We drew a map, but it's in like the free little crayons that you get from Pizza Hut for the kids menu. It's like scribbled on the back of a napkin or something. Dave says there's no rush at all. You have to release it when you're happy with it. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. That's how it was the first album. That's how it will be this time round. We will bring it out to you when we're confident that it is what we wanted to release. Well,
Yeah.
We'll bring it out to you when it's confident it's what we want to release. Scott's still trying to make changes to album 1, so he still listens to album 1 and goes, "This bit here, I'd love it if we could." It's out, mate. You can't. It's done. It's done. Claire says that she's very proud and impressed, and she's not the annoying little sister.
But surely there's something better on telly tonight. I don't know what she's doing.
She's supporting you, mate. That's what she's doing. My family don't even know that I do a live stream every other Thursday. I'm glad they don't, because obviously on the last one I revealed my brother's secret marriage, so it's probably for the best that they don't know that I do a live stream every other.
Yeah, and your dad will try and take you to the rugby again to try and man you up.
I think I might have said Thursday then. I meant Tuesday. Damn this beer! So Moorish, but so difficult. Oh, now she's saying she's not going to come again, Lee. You've upset her.
Mm.
You should come again. You should come again.
Yeah, I'm only joking.
Yeah. Pilgrim G's put perhaps they watch Thursdays, not knowing it's a Tuesday. Dave said Dave knows more about my brother than I do. He got married in January. Yes, he did. Do you know what's quite cool actually is that because of this live stream, my genuine reaction to finding out my brother got married is captured forever in the last Blacklist. Like, not only my reaction, but then my later reaction of finding out that he'd been married several months without me knowing is also captured in the Blacklist in episode 40. It's quite good, actually.
That's a good question, Neil. Like, does your day job have any bearing on the amount of gigs you play? It certainly does, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
We all work. As much as we'd like to do this for a living, yeah, we've all got quite a lot of working commitments. So, yeah, to fit things in, it's the practical aspects of it all, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's travel, it's getting out of work. Same for a lot of bands, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Getting out of work a couple of hours early to drive up the motorway and... Yeah. So yeah, I suppose it does bear a fair amount, doesn't it?
It is difficult. We got offered a 13-date tour at the start of the year, which we all broke our backs to be able to get the time out of work and to do what we needed to do to get that to happen. We managed to get to a point. It wasn't our tour; it was a support slot on a bigger tour. We managed to get to the point where we could have played, I think, 11. So we'd have to miss the first 3 that were Scotland, I think, and then it was everything lower than that we could get to, and that wasn't because we couldn't get to Scotland. It was literally we were not available to go to Scotland. So we could have done the last 11 shows on the tour. And actually, everyone managed to get their jobs and lives sorted in a way that it will work. But it is really, really tough. Like, there were days on that tour where we would be playing somewhere and then I'd have to come back and go to work, leave early, and go up north again. And, like, and I'm sure that's the same for you, Lee, and it was crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely crazy. And I was talking to... Cody earlier from South Asylum about their tour that they've just finished up with Wasp, and I was just asking him about, like, how the hell do they make that work, because it's only a matter of days before they go out again with Wednesday 13, And I just said, do you not work? Like, what? And he said, no, I work, but, you know, I'm lucky in that I can make things work around me. And I, you know, at some point, hopefully I can sack that off to concentrate on this. And I was like, that's so refreshing, like, just to know that other bands that are that, you know, they're a couple of steps ahead of us now, and to know that they're doing the same things. So we're doing it right.
Yeah.
We just
And it is just a bit of a juggle, isn't it, sometimes? But yeah, it's refreshing to know that bands, like you say, a little bit further down the line, have the same sort of issues, isn't it? With real life practicalities, isn't it? We all have to pay the bills. We all got bosses and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Right, Black Sunshine says my lunch break is almost over. Well, we've reached an hour anyway, Black Sunshine. So we are going to call it time of death, 9:01 p.m. And we thank you all for joining us this evening. Lee, any final thoughts to leave the Blacklist with this evening?
I always struggle with this bit, like I say, but I suppose it's just really nice to see everyone Friday, and we appreciate it all the time. Just I say, looking out into that crowd and seeing everyone singing back, it is a tonic. So it's appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really follow that with anything more important than that. Thank you so much for everyone who came on Friday. It really does make the difference. It lifted us a huge amount. Like I said before we went on, it was 110 days since our last gig, and in that time my mood and, you know, it's been going like this, and I've not made the correlation between playing live and mental health, but actually it was like being hit by a lightning bolt when we got on that stage.
Yeah,
It was incredible.
It's not always all about the music. Well, it's about 50% about the music. The rest of it is seeing other good bands, meeting other good bands, and meeting everyone that comes to shows. That's the rest of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right, we'll see you again for another Blacklist in 2 weeks' time. In the meantime, stay safe, stay warm. I mean, it's getting warm out there, but, you know, stay sensible. Don't do drugs. And if you are going to do drugs, don't do resin because it's disgusting.
Or poppers at the top of the
or
stairs.
poppers, yeah. If you're going to do poppers, do them on a flat surface. And we will see you again in 2 weeks. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everyone.